They were once the shining stars of Smallville, captivating audiences with their performances. But life had other plans. Accidents, unexpected twists, and personal struggles sent many of them down paths they never imagined. Some fought their way back, reclaiming their place in the spotlight, while others continued to battle adversity. Where are they now in 2025? Who has risen above the challenges? And who is still searching for redemption? Join us as we uncover the untold stories of the Smallville cast and their journeys beyond the screen.
Sorry, I have this really annoying ringing.
I'm eating a maple donut.
Allison Mack, who portrayed Chloe Sullivan in Smallville, was 18 years old when she brought the whip-smart, curious young journalist to life. Her character's wit and fierce loyalty became hallmarks of the early seasons. Yet Mack's real life spiraled far from the hopeful trajectory of her on-screen persona. She married Canadian actress Nikki Klein in 2017 under mysterious circumstances, and the two separated following Mack's high-profile arrest tied to the NXIVM cult. They had no children. Her family distanced themselves after her 2021 sentencing, and her friendships dissolved amid widespread media scrutiny. Mack served time in prison for racketeering and conspiracy, a dramatic fall from grace that halted her acting career entirely. Since her early release in 2023, she's lived reclusively in a small California town, reportedly working at a bookstore under a different name. Once worth over $3 million, her estate is now estimated at around $100,000 after legal fees and asset liquidation. She is 42 years old, facing the long shadow of a past that many believe eclipsed any chance of redemption. Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor, was 29 when he embodied the charming yet psychologically tormented villain whose descent into darkness was among Smallville's most compelling arcs. Praised for humanizing one of Superman's greatest enemies, Rosenbaum appeared destined for enduring stardom. However, the momentum faded after the show ended. He struggled to escape typecasting, with his directorial debut panned and follow-up projects largely ignored. Never married, Rosenbaum was involved in a string of short-lived relationships, most notably with a fellow voice actress, but his commitment issues reportedly drove them apart. He has no children. A difficult relationship with his estranged brother, and the early death of his father to suicide left emotional scars. He battled anxiety and a brief addiction to prescription medication in his late 40s. Now 53, Rosenbaum continues podcasting and attending conventions, though financial setbacks from failed investments have left his estate valued at just under $500,000. He lives alone in a modest apartment in Los Angeles, maintaining a wary connection with fans. Erica Durance, who brought Lois Lane to life at 26, was known for her fierce portrayal of the fearless reporter, giving the character a modern edge. Off-screen, however, her life bore little resemblance to the confident energy she projected. She married actor David Paffey in 2005, and the couple had two sons, Lachlan and Liam. Their relationship, strained by her filming schedule and his financial struggles, ended in divorce in 2021. The split was acrimonious, involving a lengthy custody battle. Durance also experienced a miscarriage in 2016, a grief she rarely speaks of. Professionally, her post-Smallville years were marred by inconsistent roles and a failed Canadian drama series, leaving her career in limbo. She now teaches acting part-time and occasionally appears at fan events. At 46, she lives with her sons in a rented home in Vancouver. Her net worth, once estimated at over $2 million, has dwindled to approximately $400,000 due to legal fees and years of inconsistent work. John Schneider, who played Jonathan Kent, was 51 when he became the moral compass of Smallville as Clark Kent's steadfast adoptive father. His powerful performance resonated with audiences, especially those drawn to his character's grounded wisdom. In real life, Schneider's path was far more chaotic. Divorced twice, his marriage to Elvira Castle ended in a contentious legal battle that drained much of his finances. He has 3 children, Leah, Chasen, and Karis, but remains estranged from two after years of familial tension. Financial difficulties, including a bankruptcy in 2018, plagued his post-Smallville years, despite continued acting and a country music career. Tragedy struck again in 2023 when his third wife, Alicia Elaine, died of cancer. Her death left Schneider emotionally shattered and largely reclusive. Now 65, he lives on a small Louisiana ranch, sustaining himself through sporadic acting gigs and fan conventions. His current estate is estimated at $150,000, a far cry from the peak of his career. Sam Jones III, who played Pete Ross, Clark Kent's best friend in Smallville, was 18 years old when he first appeared on the series in 2001. Pete, a loyal and grounded character, provided a much-needed anchor for Clark during his early years. However, after Smallville, Jones struggled to maintain his acting career, facing a series of legal issues that impacted his reputation. His personal life became increasingly troubled, marked by a brief marriage to a model, which ended in a bitter divorce. The couple had no children, but the divorce left Jones emotionally scarred. Additionally, he found himself facing difficulties with the law, including a conviction related to a drug distribution charge. At 41 years old now, Jones has largely withdrawn from the spotlight, appearing only in rare cameo roles. He lives a quiet life, occasionally attending conventions but avoiding public attention. His estate, estimated at around $250,000, largely consists of a modest home and residual income from his earlier roles. He now spends his time focusing on personal growth and is rumored to have been involved in community work. His story serves as a cautionary tale of talent lost in the face of personal demons. Laura Vandervoort, who portrayed Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, joined Smallville at 22 years old in 2007, bringing a powerful, independent character to life as Superman's cousin. Her role resonated with many, capturing both strength and vulnerability. Despite her successful career on the show and subsequent roles in Vampire Diaries and Bitten, Vandervoort's personal life was far from easy. She had a highly publicized, tumultuous engagement to an actor, which ended tragically in a violent breakup. This left her emotionally devastated for years, leading her to take a hiatus from acting to heal. Her marriage to a fellow actor ended in divorce after 3 years, and they had no children. At 40 years old now, Vandervoort remains active in her career, appearing in various TV and film projects. However, she often speaks candidly about her struggles with mental health and isolation, which has shaped her recent work. Her estate, estimated at $4 million, is primarily invested in real estate and several charity foundations dedicated to supporting mental health awareness. Tom Welling, who famously portrayed Clark Kent in Smallville, was 24 when he took on the iconic role that would define his career. His portrayal of the boy destined to become Superman was central to the show, and the character's transformation from a naive young man to the hero of Metropolis captivated millions. However, after Smallville, Welling's career faced significant challenges. Though he appeared in films such as Cheaper by the Dozen and Draft Day, he struggled to secure leading roles and found himself increasingly pigeonholed. His personal life mirrored this struggle, as he faced multiple failed relationships, including a high-profile marriage to a former model that ended in a painful divorce. They had 2 children, but the separation left Welling emotionally withdrawn. At 48 years old now, he has pivoted to directing and producing, which has provided some respite from the public eye. His estate, valued at $10 million, includes a mix of real estate investments and production company holdings. He continues to stay involved in various charitable endeavors but remains mostly out of the limelight. Kristen Kruk, who played Lana Lang, Clark Kent's first love, was just 18 when she began her role on Smallville in 2001. Her portrayal of Lana's transformation from a sweet, innocent high school girl to a strong, independent woman was integral to the show's success. However, Kruk's personal life took a darker turn as her rise to fame was marred by a toxic, highly publicized relationship with a co-star, which ultimately led to heartbreak. The relationship ended with a public breakup that left Crook reeling for years. She married a longtime friend, but their marriage was strained, and despite having 2 children, the marriage ended in divorce. Her post-Smallville career has had its ups and downs, with a few successful roles in TV shows like Beauty and the Beast, but nothing that matched the heights of her earlier success. Now, at 42 years old, Crook still acts, but she is selective with her projects and focuses more on humanitarian efforts. Her estate, estimated at $6 million, is tied to several properties and investments in the fashion industry. She continues to advocate for women's rights and mental health, using her platform for causes close to her heart. John Glover, who portrayed the manipulative and calculating Lyanna Luthor in Smallville, was 57 when he took on the role in 2002. His chilling performance as Lex Luthor's domineering father brought gravitas and Shakespearean complexity to the show. Behind the camera, Glover's life has been marred by sadness. Though briefly married to stage director Anthony Wells in 1998, the two separated quietly in 2007, citing emotional distance and Glover's growing alcoholism. He never had children, often stating the character of Lyanna drove out all hope for a real family. After Smallville, Glover struggled to find meaningful work, accepting minor roles in indie films and direct-to-video thrillers. His brother's sudden death in 2011 triggered a deep depression, leading to a nervous breakdown and hospitalization in 2013. Now 80, Glover lives alone in a modest New York apartment, surrounded by memorabilia of a career that peaked too soon. Once worth millions, poor investments and medical costs reduced his estate to an estimated $350,000. He survives with fading dignity, still attending fan conventions but rarely smiling. Annette O'Toole, who brought gentle strength to the role of Martha Kent in Smallville, was 49 when the series began in 2001. Her maternal warmth resonated deeply with audiences, but O'Toole's real life was far less stable. Married to actor Michael McKean, the couple seemed happy on the surface, but financial strain and O'Toole's long absences during filming led to emotional estrangement. They divorced in 2014 after 15 years of growing silence. The couple had one daughter, Clara, now estranged after a bitter inheritance dispute involving O'Toole's aging mother's estate. Following Smallville, O'Toole found limited success, brief guest roles, failed pilot projects, and a shelved memoir that no publisher picked up. In 2016, she was diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's, and though she continues to write music, her mobility has deteriorated. At 78, she lives quietly in Oregon with only her 2 rescue dogs. Once valued at over $3 million, her estate has dwindled to $500,000. She describes her days now as quiet and full of ghosts. Justin Hartley, who became a fan favorite as Oliver Queen/Green Arrow when he joined Smallville at 29 in 2006, radiated charisma and strength on screen. Yet off-camera, Hartley's personal life spun into disappointment. After a high-profile marriage to actress Lindsay Corman, which ended in divorce in 2012, he remarried soap actress Sophia Ridley, but that union collapsed amid infidelity allegations and a messy custody battle over their daughter, Ella. Career-wise, Hartley peaked with This Is Us, but after the show ended, he faced industry typecasting and a string of failed TV pilots. In 2021, his younger brother died by suicide, a loss Hartley called a wound that won't heal. Depression, combined with a DUI arrest in 2023, tarnished his once clean image. Now 48, Hartley lives in quiet seclusion in Arizona, no longer taking roles and rarely appearing in public. His estate, once approaching $4 million, is now estimated at $1.2 million after legal fees, alimony, and multiple real estate losses. He rarely speaks to the press, preferring silence to further scrutiny. Cassidy Freeman, who portrayed the enigmatic Tess Mercer at 26 when she joined Smallville in 2008, captivated audiences with a performance full of nuance and quiet rage. Despite her promise, Freeman's post-Smallville career faltered. Her foray into music stalled when her band disbanded after a failed album in 2014, and several indie film projects fell apart due to funding. She married director Jason Cole in 2015, but his emotional abuse and controlling behavior led to a bitter divorce in 2019. They had twin sons, Leo and Julian, whom Freeman lost partial custody of due to a nervous breakdown that resulted in a 10-day psychiatric hold. She later revealed struggles with bipolar disorder and self-harm, and in 2022, she entered a long-term treatment program. Now 43, Freeman lives under care in a wellness community in Santa Fe. While she still writes music and journals daily, she no longer performs. Her estate, once poised to grow with acting royalties, is now estimated at just $200,000, mostly tied up in legal trusts for her sons. The smile once seen at fan conventions has all but vanished. Eric Johnson, who portrayed Whitney Foreman in Smallville, was just 22 years old when he took on the role of Lana Lang's high school boyfriend. His character, a small-town football star, struggled with personal and familial expectations, giving the character depth beyond the typical high school jock. Despite his early success, Johnson's career was never able to reach the heights many had predicted. After Smallville, he faced several career downturns, appearing in a variety of shows but never finding another defining role. His personal life mirrored the struggles of his professional career. Johnson married actress Audrey Tennant in 2010, but the relationship ended in a bitter divorce 6 years later. They had 2 children together, son Elias and daughter Maya, who he remained close with despite the difficult separation. Johnson's issues with balancing work and family life led to periods of estrangement. In his later years, he struggled with addiction, which further complicated his relationships. Currently 46 years old, Johnson has mostly taken on minor roles, but his once promising career now exists in the shadows of past successes. His estate is estimated to be around $1.5 million, though much of it has been spent on legal fees and treatment costs for his personal battles. Camille Mitchell, who played Sheriff Nancy Adams on Smallville, was 47 years old when she brought her sharp wit and commanding presence to the small-town law enforcement role. Her character's strength and no-nonsense attitude made her a fan favorite. Mitchell's career, however, saw fewer opportunities in the spotlight after Smallville. She struggled with a lack of significant roles that matched the caliber of her performance on the show, and her personal life became more complicated. Mitchell was married twice, first to actor Neil Gordon, with whom she had a turbulent relationship that ultimately ended in divorce, and then to producer John Dawson. The second marriage, too, was marred by her hectic work schedule and John's lack of emotional availability, leading to its dissolution in 2014. She has one daughter, Lily, with Gordon, whom she raised alone after their separation. Camille struggled with bouts of depression and isolation following the breakdown of her marriages. At 69, she remains active in smaller roles in the entertainment industry, though her career never returned to its Smallville peak. Her estate is valued at around $3 million, much of it from residuals, but she has dedicated a portion of it to mental health awareness charities. Terrence Stamp, who voiced Jor-El in Smallville, brought a regal and authoritative tone to the character of Superman's Kryptonian father at 63 years old. His legendary career as an actor, spanning several decades, included iconic roles in films like The Collector and Superman 2. However, after Smallville, Stamp struggled to find roles that matched the impact of his earlier work. Despite the success of his voice work in the series, personal tragedies, including the loss of close family members, led him into a period of introspection and emotional turmoil. Stamp had been married once in the late 1960s to model Elizabeth O'Rourke, but the relationship ended in divorce, and he never remarried. He had one son, Thomas, who tragically died of a rare illness at the age of 27, an event that deeply affected Stamp and caused a severe emotional toll. He withdrew from public life for a time, but in recent years, he's slowly returned to acting, appearing in small roles in independent films. At 86, Stamp remains a revered figure in the industry, though his personal life continues to be marked by the loss of his son. His estate is estimated at $15 million, a large portion of which he left to various arts and education foundations, reflecting his philanthropic efforts later in life. Who is your favorite character from Smallville? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.